You know, we're talking about building social enterprises. We're really talking about collaboration. We've talked about building that next generation of database. That's obviously critical. But we want to jump down into something that is where a lot of customers started with us, which is selling and connecting and selling. How many people started here with Salesforce.com sales solution? Can you raise your hand? A lot of customers did. But selling is evolving, and the ability to connect and sell inside of a social network is really different than ever before. And I travel around. I travel quite a bit. I like meeting with customers. I like talking to them. And nice to meet you. See, there we go. And the thing that I like, actually, is I like meeting all these really exciting new customers. And one of the customers that I spend a lot of time with is a company called Groupon. Have you heard about Groupon? And also they have a European company that used to be called City Deals, is now called Groupon. Anybody in the audience here from Groupon, by the way? Raise your hands if you're from Groupon. We have a couple people. So, you know, Groupon is the fastest growing company in the world ever. Pretty awesome. 22,000% revenue growth this year. I think we'd all like to have that. They have 5,000 salespeople at Groupon. Awesome company. They did $760 million in revenue last year. This year, they'll do $2 billion in revenue. And they're collaborating. They have new promotions. They're working with these merchants all over the world. It's just an amazing company. And the way we found out about Groupon is they started to build this sales cloud. They started building and connecting and showing us new ways to sell. And that's how they were achieving this growth. And as we looked at it, a lot of customers like Groupon and others, we said, wow, there really is a next generation sales cloud emerging. You know, the way we use accounts and contacts, opportunities, integrating it with chatter, with collaboration, workflow, analytics, file sharing. And what we've seen with customers who are using this sales cloud, their growth and their ability to perform is way above market. But today we want to introduce you to a new version of Salesforce's Sales Cloud. And what you're going to see, and you can see it in the kind of the ticker tape down below, is 150 new features that are getting released inside Salesforce's Sales Cloud. But I want to just talk today about three major new capabilities. I want to talk about social contacts. And social contacts is new information about how to manage a contact. Just managing a contact in the same old way isn't right anymore. We need to look at a new way on how we're viewing that social data. And two, I want to talk about how chatter sales is a better way to sell right inside the Sales Cloud. And the third and most important thing is collaborative forecasting. We've put all that together with all the other critical features that you see down below, whether it's file recommendations or chatter for Outlook or inline video, to really generate this next generation capability. And we have this customer that really kind of knocked it out of the box with this product, which is NBC Universal. And NBC Universal, they did an amazing job by showing us how they could manage 2 million ad spots a year using Salesforce's Sales Cloud from a single profile with accurate data and shorter sales cycles and a 300% return on the investment in the first week. It's pretty awesome. Pretty incredible capabilities. And if you go actually onto, Al, are we going to show the NBC video today? I'm right back here. Sorry to surprise you. We're not going to show it. But if you go to YouTube and you type Salesforce and NBC, you'll see a video that we showed at Dreamforce where we profile and do in-depth interviews with all of their employees on how they built this Sales Cloud. And it's amazing. And then in addition to that, we've added one other huge new capability to the Sales Cloud, and that is data.com. And what data.com is the number one request that we hear from customers on a continuous basis is, how do I clean my data? How do I keep my data clean? My customers' data is changing, their address is changing, their phone number is changing, their Facebook handle is changing, their Twitter address is changing. Help me keep my data clean. And if I don't have all the data about an account, help me get that data. And so with data.com, we have the ability to reach into our database and to be able to extend that through a public social database that we have that used to be called Jigsaw and is now called data.com. And it's built right in the contact page. So right in the contact page, you can say, okay, now clean this data. Now, before I show you the Sales Cloud and before I show you data.com, what I want to do is take kind of a stop in the presentation, because I want to go back to the technology trends and technology shifts. We all realize our industry is changing. I'm going to talk to Michael Dell about that this afternoon. And the biggest, most exciting change that's going on in our industry is this next generation of hardware. How many people here have a smartphone with them today? Everybody. How many people here have some type of tablet with them today? About half. Smartphones and tablets, it's where we want our information, it's where we want our applications. And we see even next generation laptops emerging that are smarter and more interactive and look more like these smartphones and tablets than ever before. And this new generation of hardware that's emerging really demands a next generation of software. Now, we've been delivering a lot of that natively on these devices, but we've seen a pretty big shift, a pretty big change in how to build software. And that change and that shift in building next generation software, you can see in kind of some very exciting next generation capabilities, which is built on HTML5. And if you look at what HTML5 looks like, the ideas are really found in things like Kindle's Cloud Reader, or app.ft.com, or LinkedIn, or Google's websites, that when they render on your iPad, it looks like they're native, but they're written in HTML5. And this is really a huge shift. Less and less native apps in iOS and Android, and more apps built in HTML5 that take advantage of the form factor and of this next generation hardware. That it's this next generation of hardware and the next generation of software that's really coming together to make this possible. And that's why we're introducing touch.salesforce.com, which is a new way to deliver all of our applications and our platform to you. Every investment that you've made in Salesforce, the custom objects, the custom tabs, the custom fields, the custom page layouts, all of our upgrades, all of our updates, now as we render our service, we will render it in HTML5. So automatically, it will get deployed on those devices for you. That is a huge and powerful shift in how we deliver our technology, and yet it really brings us back to our roots. We started as an HTML app, but now with HTML5, we're able to deliver this next generation of capability. Okay, let's take a look. Kraig and Dan have got an amazing demonstration put together for you. Please welcome back Kraig Swensrud. Kraig?
Thanks, Mark.
Here you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Dan. Well, the Sales Cloud is the world's #1 sales application, but selling has completely changed in an era that's social and mobile, and that's what we're going to show you right now. Let's go ahead and bring up a demo of the Sales Cloud. So first, you can see in the upper right-hand portion of the screen that we're in the Sales app, and that means all the core functions of Salesforce automation are represented for accounts and contacts and opportunities, and you see the dashboards in the middle of the screen. But today, our sales rep, Steve, at our demo company, Cirrus Technologies, starts in the chatter feed. And the cool thing is that Steve, the sales rep, can understand everything that happened in the customer group in our earlier demo, because it's one integrated system. But for so many sales reps, take a look right below that, it's all about keeping on top of your pipeline and hitting your number. And your boss can actually chatter around a specific dashboard component. This is actually the pipeline chart that I want to review on Friday's forecast call. So we can drill in, again, we can drill into the underlying data right from the chatter feed and have a look. Let's drill right through to the dashboard. And of course, this is how you are using the analytics capability of Salesforce.com. For sales reps or for sales managers, this is where you're tracking your quota. This is where you're tracking your big deals. This is how you're seeing your pipeline broken out by stage, where you are on the leaderboard. And of course, as you're managing all of this information, you can create dashboards with drag and drop right here inside of the browser. And it's all actionable. So let's drill. Let's take a look at one of our biggest deals for the quarter, Dan. This big deal with Hudson Hotels for $570K. And of course, the opportunity screen is one that you know and love because it's where you track your deals, your amount, your products, your stage, your pricing, your probability, everything about your transaction. But again, every aspect of the system has gone social. For the sales organization, that means you can actually chatter right here on the opportunity, right with the deal team. About what, you might ask, right? How about getting a discount approved for these products? How about sharing a strategy? Because our teams are mobile. They're everywhere, but we need to work together more effectively than ever. Right below that, of course, you can see an org chart because our team is talking about, well, who are the key influencers? Who are the decision makers for this transaction? And of course, for sales reps, what it's all about is creating the killer pitch. What is that killer slide deck that you're going to present to your customer, differentiate yourself, and win your business? And you can see multiple people working on this right now, no matter where they're located. One single version of the truth, and everybody has clear visibility into that. If you want to bring somebody else into that conversation or mention something specific, you all know this, you can just do an @mention right here inside of the chatter feed, and that brings somebody else into the conversation. But that somebody else might not be here in the web browser. That somebody else might be on the road. And our teams are on the road right now, and that is why we have unveiled touch.salesforce.com. Let's bring it up and show this technology to you right now. The first thing that you're going to notice is that this looks and feels like a native application with all the gestures of native apps, but it's not. It's an HTML5 application that comes right off the server and fits the form factor of this device. And of course, the chatter feed is front and center, but what you've been asking for your sales organizations is, show me more. I want all my opportunities. I want all my accounts. I want all my contacts. I want all my dashboards right here on the touchpad. Dan, let's go ahead and pull down the top of the screen and show this. The menu bar of touch. You have access to all that capability now. There's your accounts. There's your contacts. There's your opportunities. There's your dashboards. And just to give you a sense as to what this application looks like, let's start just by bringing up an account. So as a sales engineer, maybe out on the road, I can start by researching my customer. You can see that all the information pulls off the server and renders on the screen in real time, but here's something that's really critical. All of your customizations come through in touch. You know that rating is not a standard field on the account page layout. Anything you customize automatically renders inside of touch. And all of your related lists, contacts, are associated with accounts. How about chatter associated with that contact Stacy that we were looking at earlier today? Even all of your custom objects. And Mark mentioned this, but it's so critical that every custom object you've ever created in Salesforce, every custom app that you've ever created in Salesforce automatically renders as part of touch. And your dashboards. All of your custom dashboards and reports. So you see the entire system of Salesforce really start to represent itself right here on the touchpad. But again, for our sales engineer, we need to work on this transaction. So it's all about the opportunity. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chatter on that opportunity. Even all of the chatter now capability that we just showed you is here on the touchpad. And of course, if we want to make a suggestion, you all know this, we can type inside of the chatter comment feed, and the entire system renders in real time. So this is something that's really critical. We just posted that right here from the touchpad. We're live here on stage. Let's go ahead and take a look back at our sales rep, Steve. When our sales rep, Steve, refreshes his browser, we could just scroll down to the bottom of that feed. What you're going to see is only seconds ago, via touch.salesforce.com, everything happens now. And that's how the entire system works. And that's how your sales organization, your sales team, stays in lockstep to win these transactions. So now you've got the killer pitch. Scroll on up a little bit, please, Dan. You know who the key influencers are. You know who the key decision makers are. You've got the strategy. You've got the pricing approved by your boss. But wait a minute. Take a look at the top of the screen. How often does this happen? Christine just got off the phone with our customer, and guess what? Melissa, the vice president, is going to be in the meeting. Well, who is Melissa? How do we get to know who our customers are? Let's take a look at Melissa's customer social profile. And some of you might be wondering, well, I think my customer social profiles might look more like this. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they like. I don't know what their picture looks like. I don't know where they're located. Why doesn't the map display? And so how do you get all this information? Right? You could amass it as a team together, but it might be more beneficial to just pull it right out of the cloud. And that's why we've introduced our new service, data.com. Because you can see on the right-hand side of the screen that your CRM system may not have very much info, but data.com has it. It has the information about this person, where they're located, their phone number, their email address. Even through our partnership with Dun & Bradstreet, more information about their company, maybe than you had before. And with one click, we can pull all this information out of the cloud in real time, and the entire customer social profile lights up. Now we know who Melissa is. We know the public information that she's been discussing. We know some of the things that she likes. We can establish a better rapport with Melissa than ever before in our meetings, and everybody on the deal team, everybody on our sales team is in lockstep. And if we wanted to meet with Melissa and her team, how would we do that? Well, oftentimes we are getting on airplanes, we're going out, we're visiting our customers physically, but more and more today, we want those meetings to happen online. They are happening online. And you've been asking us, Salesforce, why can't I just conduct a meeting right here inside of the application? Because my entire sales team is actually using this app. Why can't I conduct a business meeting right here inside of Salesforce? Why can't I give this slide presentation right to my customer? Well, now you can. Because Chatter customer groups integrated with the Sales Cloud, your customers are now part of that conversation. And now you can conduct a business meeting with your customer right inside Salesforce. This is how you differentiate yourself. This is how you win your transactions. And of course, when you feel great about closing that transaction, let's go ahead and go back to the Salesforce app, please. When you feel great about closing that transaction, when the order comes across the finish line, maybe the order is even posted in the Chatter customer group. Let's go ahead and close out the opportunity, Dan. Let's change it from value prop to closed won, and I want to show you one final thing, because the entire system updates in real time. That's the power of the cloud technology that's behind all of this. Immediately in your Chatter feed, you see the analytics. The dashboard is chattering, saying you've exceeded your quota. Who wouldn't want to see that? But again, through touch.salesforce.com, no matter where anybody is, the entire team can celebrate. Let's bring it up. Let's take a look at Touch on the iPad. You've seen this before, but there's the update at the top of the screen. Let's take a look at Touch on the Google Android Honeycomb system. Let's flip that around, show you one more. But it's not just here on these tablets, because the power of HTML5, it's fit for the form factor of any device. So finally, let's bring up your phones. Let's bring up the iPhone, the BlackBerry, and the Droid. Touch.salesforce.com is pervasive across all of these devices. And really, this is the new world of social selling powered by the Sales Cloud. Thanks. Mark, back to you.
Well done. Great job. All right.